The whispering door.
Michael had always been a rational man. He didn't believe in ghosts, demons, or anything supernatural. That's why, when he found an apartment downtown for an unbelievably low price, he didn't question it. He didn't ask why the last tenant had left so suddenly, or why the landlord had seemed a little too eager to hand over the keys. It was a small one-bedroom apartment in an old brick building. The walls were thick, the floors creaked, and the air carried a faint, musty scent, like something had been left there for too long. But Michael didn't mind. He had bigger things to worry about: work, bills, and the stress of city life. For the first few nights, everything was fine. Quiet, too quiet. Then, on the fourth night, it began. At exactly 3:13 a.m., Michael woke up with a strange feeling. The room was silent, but something was off. Then he heard it. A whisper, soft, faint, coming from inside his closet.
Michael, let me out.
His breath caught in his throat. He sat up, staring at the closet door. It was shut, just like he had left it. The sound had been so clear, so close. He got up, walked over, and yanked the door open. Nothing. Just clothes, a few boxes, and a draft of cold air. Brushing it off as a dream, Michael went back to bed. But the next night, it happened again. 3:13 a.m.
Michael, please. I'm trapped.
The voice was clearer this time, urgent and desperate. Michael sat frozen in bed, his heart pounding. He grabbed his phone and hit record. If this was real, he needed proof. The whisper came again.
Michael, help me.
Morning came, and with shaking hands, he played back the recording. At first, all he heard was silence. Then, faintly, the whisper. But as he turned the volume up, his stomach dropped. The voice wasn't just a whisper. It wasn't just someone calling his name. It was his own voice. Cold dread washed over him. He had never spoken those words, had never whispered into his phone. But somehow, the voice on the recording was identical to his. He tried to ignore it, tried to convince himself it was a glitch, a dream, stress. But the voice came back every single night. And each night, it got louder. Michael couldn't take it anymore. He had to know what was behind that wall. That night, he grabbed a crowbar and started prying open the back of the closet. The old wooden panels creaked and splintered as he tore them away. Then, he saw it. A second door. It was hidden behind the wall, old and rotting, with deep scratches around the edges, as if something inside had been clawing to get out. His breath quickened. Every instinct told him to leave it alone. But the voice was louder now, pleading, sobbing. Michael.
I've been waiting for you.
His hand trembled as he reached for the handle. Then a whisper right behind him.
Michael, don't open it.
He spun around. The room was empty. His heart pounded so hard it hurt. Then something knocked from the other side of the door. A slow, deliberate tap, tap, tap. Michael couldn't move. Cold sweat dripped down his back. Another knock, harder. Then the handle began to turn. Panic surged through him. He shoved the door, trying to keep it closed. But something was pushing back.
Let me out.
A hand burst through the crack in the door, pale, thin, clawing at the air. Michael stumbled back. The hand gripped the edge of the door and pulled. The door swung open and something stepped out. Michael felt his stomach drop. It was him. The thing that emerged was identical to him, but its skin was grayish, its eyes sunken, lips curled into a twisted smile. Michael tried to run, but his other self was faster. The last thing he felt was its cold hands around his throat. His vision blurred. He tried to scream, but the air was gone. Then darkness. The next morning, Michael's apartment was empty. The landlord came by to check, but there was no sign of him, just an open closet door. And that night, at 3:13 a.m., a whisper came from inside.